now, from Stage 21 at Universal Studios at Universal Orlando Resort.
Making his way to the ring from Honolulu, Hawaii, weighing in at 211 pounds, Danny Brown!
Greetings, wrestling fans. Welcome here to the XWF Fury as we bring you action of the XWF taking place on the road. Tonight we come to you from St. Petersburg, Florida for all the action here on Fury.
Well, tonight, Gene, we've got a main event. It is the television champion, AJ Styles. Title will not be on the line in this one, is my understanding, but it's still going to be a marquee matchup. No two ways about that.
Well, as we know, when you go up against any champion, whether it's a title match or not, it's an opportunity. And if you can beat that champion, you'll be getting a title match.
His opponent from Cobb County, Georgia, weighing in at 332 pounds, the Boss Man!
As we take a look at the correction officer from Cobb County, Georgia, the Big Boss Man is here.
Well, Denny Brown's going to have his hands full. The Big Boss Man is not one to mess with.
Bell sounds, action is underway. And Denny Brown getting off to a quick start here against the Big Boss Man. What do you make of this?
Well, I think it's the smartest logic he could possibly have is strike first, strike hard, and see if you can't somehow find a way to keep that big man down. But he's given up a lot of size and strength, and the Boss Man, he's used to roughhousing with people. This is not going to be a new situation for the Boss Man. It will be a big situation for Denny Brown, who's been in the ring with some of the greatest names of all time.
And Denny Brown not exactly moving up the ladder when it comes to title matches here. However, he has proven time and time again that he can give anyone a run for their money on any given day. He can be victorious.
Well, right now, he's in complete control of the Big Boss Man, and I can't believe I'm even saying that. And I'm sure that the only other person more surprised than me is probably the Big Boss Man himself.
The action now spilling out here to ringside. Denny Brown really taking it to the Big Boss Man here in this one, our opening matchup, and I've got to tell you, I am absolutely shocked. Off the top rope with a splash. This has been a one-sided match. He's going for the cover right here. He might have him. There's a 2 count, and he almost got the 3.
This is absolutely shocking right now, what we are seeing out of Denny Brown, and how much more can the Big Boss Man take?
One of the things we often talk about is sometimes I do believe that it happens where a wrestler will come to a match overconfident. And I have to believe that might be what we're looking at right here. I think the Big Boss Man expected very little in the way of competition from Denny Brown, but he's finding out right now that that is a misunderstanding. Off the ropes now, the Boss Man starting to get some offense here. Big spine buster, and you can see that one had an effect on Denny Brown.
Denny's not done, though. He's coming right back, not letting Boss Man build any momentum here, and that's a smart move as he goes down low, right near the borderline. I think it was above the waist.
It appeared to be legal to me, and Denny Brown, as you mentioned, cutting off the flow of momentum that the Big Boss Man had been building up moments earlier. And he picks up right where he left off, and the Big Boss Man's got to be wondering what in the heck is going on here today. Has him up into a power bomb, and Denny Brown feeling the effects of that one.
I think the people in the first row might have been feeling the effects of that one. There's another big spine buster. The boss man now going for the cover. Let's see if Denny Brown has enough left in the tank to kick out, and he does. He manages to get that shoulder up somehow. The boss man comes off the ropes. Big splash again. Hooks the leg. Here's a count of 2. And Denny Brown just able to kick out. Boss man drops that flying elbow at near 300 pounds right into that chest. Big boss man is really unloading on Denny Brown right now, and Denny's in trouble. Going for a suplex here as the boss man perhaps has him up. Nicely executed. Well, you see Denny Brown holding his back, but it looks like it took a little something out of the big boss man as well, as he's not getting up quickly. Now going all the way to the top rope, and we're not used to seeing this from the boss man. Oh, man. That's got to be all she wrote. The elbow off the top rope. Denny Brown manages to kick out. Are you kidding me? Now the boss man going back up to the middle rope this time. Nobody home. Denny Brown just got out of town. Well, in the nick of time, I might add. Denny Brown now going to have to try and figure out something. He's got the boss man back up on his feet. I'm not sure that's really what he wanted, but it's what he asked for. He comes up with a knee lift, though, and now follows up with an elbow. Denny Brown turning the momentum of this thing once again in his favor. And if this was being judged on a point system like boxing, for example, I would have to say Denny Brown is ahead on points, but that doesn't matter here in the world of professional wrestling. No, it doesn't matter, but you're right. I'd have to say he's leading on points as well, but the only points that count are the 3 points, and that's one for each count that the referee gives, and you got to get all 3 in a row to win. Boss man. Oh, look at Denny Brown. Ran into the boss man. Had no effect on the big boss man. Yeah, but that forearm did. And again, the boss man, I'll tell you right now, something's off. I don't know if it's a matter of just underestimation or what, but look at Denny Brown with these suplexes, and now he's got him trapped in the straitjacket suplex. Shoulders are on the mat for a count of 2, and the boss man just barely kicking out. Denny Brown is on the cuspice of a massive upset here in St. Petersburg. The boss man doesn't know which end is up right now. He is groggy. Denny gonna go from behind one more time. Looked like he was going to go for that suplex again, and then changed his mind. Instead has the boss man for the pile driver. Oh, that's vicious. That's going to be all she wrote. I cannot believe what we are looking at here. It is an upset, ladies and gentlemen. The boss man manages to somehow kick out. I'm here to tell you there was no kick in that kick out. He rolled out of that pin attempt, and Denny Brown right now sizing him up. He tried again, and the boss man this time fighting out of it. I can't say enough about the effort put forth today by Denny Brown as the boss man gets him off the ropes, and he missed his opportunity right there. Denny Brown was ready, and reverse DDT puts the boss man back down again. Somebody has to look into whatever Denny Brown had for breakfast, because this is an unbelievable show. And take a look at the boss man. He's looking pretty rough right now. He has definitely been on the receiving end of the punishment in this one. You almost start to wonder if Denny Brown ever served some time in Cobb County the way he is taking it to the boss man from the opening bell, I might add. Well, getting that early start has really paid off. Spine buster now by the boss man, and just like that, it can be over. Hits the ropes. Again. Big splash. Shoulders are down. There's one. There's two. And Denny Brown manages to slide out the back door. See him trying to roll out to the apron. The big boss man says, I don't think so. Cuts him off and now drags him back into the middle of the ring. Boss man has him up in the air. Ooh, devastating cross knee backbreaker right there, and you can see Denny feeling all of that one. And now there's a small package by Denny Brown. Shoulders on the mat for a count of 2. He goes on a guillotine.
Boss Man finding a way to slide out the back door.
This is absolutely incredible. I've never seen this effort out of Denny Brown before. He will use a win over the Big Boss Man if he can secure it to catapult himself in the standings, and he knows that. He realizes he's this close to defeating him.
He's got the Boss Man now trapped up against the top rope. Denny Brown stomped to the chest. And now goes for the cover. Referee counts 1, counts 2, and he kicked out again. I can't believe it. Denny Brown can't believe it.
Nobody can believe it, but look at this crowd. They're on their feet, Gene. They realize how close they are to seeing history. Look at the Boss Man. He looks like he's been in a brawl.
It looks like he's been involved in a prison riot, and he was outnumbered about 5-1. Denny Brown, a career effort here tonight.
Bossman might want to reach over for that stick of his, because right now, one-on-one, Denny Brown has his number tonight.
Sends him into the corner again. Denny Brown. Oh, he got caught with a stiff elbow right across the head. And a clothesline by the Boss Man. Took him down. Goes for the cover. There's 1. There's 2. And Denny Brown got a shoulder up.
You know, we hear the fans chant time and time again, fight forever. These two might take that literally.
I can't imagine what it is going to take to bring an end to this match. Both of these men have hit with some of their hardest impact, and nothing has kept either man down for the count of 3 thus far. Boss Man again to the ropes, and another big splash. Goes for the cover. Hooking the leg. Denny Brown, can he do it again? Not this time. I'll tell you what, though. It was close.
Well, we're going to take a look back at some of the highlights, and I can tell you right now, Denny Brown brought everything he had to this fight from the opening moments. He went right at the Big Boss Man, and he came so close to putting the big guy away.
Spine buster right there by the Big Boss Man. Then went up to the top rope. We saw this one, and it was high impact for sure.
When you talk about high impact, watch what happens here with Denny Brown. That trifecta of suplexes does the job. And again, somehow it wasn't enough to keep his shoulders down, and I just don't understand how that was.
Denny Brown really has to see his stock going up. Look at that pile driver on the Big Boss Man. Small package almost put him away.
I can't get over, when you look at the Big Boss Man physically, he's been beaten up here tonight.
Indeed, your winner is the Big Boss Man, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll be back with more action in just a moment. Stay with us.
Every generation has its stars. Major Stars. Order today at collectmajor.com.
All right, wrestling fans, we are back for more action here on the XWF. And We're still getting over what we just saw in that opening matchup. Unbelievable. The Big Boss Man so close to losing that match, which would have been a massive upset. No two ways about that. Well, we might have another potential massive upset coming here because it's not the Big Boss Man's turn this time. The Assassin in the ring now, awaiting his opposition. Here he comes, the Renegade. Since coming on the scene here, the Renegade is stirring the pot just a little bit. We've seen the Ultimate Warrior. I still haven't figured out if the Ultimate Warrior is a fan of this guy or if he feels offended. I mean, it's very unclear right now. Well, I can say this, on our last regular program for the XWF, the Warrior had a great matchup, and this man, the Renegade, came out afterwards applauding the effort. So apparently, in his world anyway, he would like to believe that there is some mutual respect. Whether that's reciprocated or not so sure about that. Bell sounds, action's underway, and just like that, here we go. Big clothesline. And the Renegade going to work here on the Assassin. They'll tie it up. Of course, the Assassin with a lot more experience under his mask. But the power, the strength of the Renegade is going to take him a long way. There's a splash going for the cover, taking a page out of the book, perhaps, of the Ultimate Warrior. Well, the likeness can't possibly be going unnoticed. And again, if you are the Ultimate Warrior, they say the sincerest form of flattery is imitation. But then again, I'm not so sure he's flattered. Well, I can definitely see it going both ways in a situation like that. Renegade now just running that forearm right across the eyes of the Assassin. And the Assassin, for all of the training and all the experience that he has had no answer thus far for the Renegade here. Another big power move right there by the Renegade, as we would expect to see. He knows that that's where he has the strength in this match, figuratively and literally. Oh, look at this. Couldn't hold the weight that time, as the Assassin may have adjusted mid-slam and came crashing down on the Renegade. And now the Renegade returns the favor. Look at this. Renegade is fired up right now. Another scoop. No, not a slam, but cross-knee backbreaker instead this time. Sends him into the turnbuckle. And the Renegade with the Assassin head first into the turnbuckle. Oh, the boots come up and now staggered. Renegade just got stunned. Comes off the ropes, dropped down by the masked man. Swinging a miss, and now the Renegade gonna make him pay. Nice hip toss right there, and the Assassin relying on some old school tactics right there. Now look at this, he's taking the turnbuckle pad off. He's exposed that steel ring. We've seen that in the past. Head first into the mat, goes for the cover. We don't have a referee. He's turning around and put the turnbuckle pad back on, and the Renegade had this one. Well, indeed, the Renegade appeared to have had a 3 count right there, but the referee busy repairing that turnbuckle, Beth, and that has indeed given the Assassin, at least for the moment, a lease on life, a new lease on life, that is to say. Slips out the back door, chop block to the back of the knee. Renegade. Methodical today. They tie up once again. Nice knee to the midsection. And another back breaker right down across the knee. How much more of this do you think the Assassin's going to have in him?
I'm surprised he's still standing right now, and I think the Renegade knows he can put him away anytime he wants.
What an elbow coming off the ropes, and the Renegade continues to pummel his opponent here tonight. The Assassin has got himself back up in the corner, and what a chop! Holy cow, they can hear that one up in the cheap seats.
I think he just introduced his pectoral to his spine. That was an unbelievable chop.
Wow, nice move right there, and the Renegade dropping that elbow, and now perhaps is getting to that point in the match where he thinks it is time. The Assassin, look out, off the ropes he comes. They collide, nobody getting the advantage in that one. Assassin has him, and now going to work on the trapezius muscles.
Good luck. Have you seen the trapezius muscles on this guy? You're going to have to go to work for a long time.
Indeed, as the Renegade kicking out of that very quickly. What a clothesline! The Assassin is in deep trouble right now.
Renegade's doing his number on him right here. No two ways about that.
The Assassin is in trouble again. Clothesline takes him down. Anytime he wants, the Renegade has to realize it at this time that he can put this man away. And I don't think there's any question about it. As he continues to unload. Look at this. Takes him out with a hip toss all the way across the ring. Renegade now goes to the top rope. The splash connects. Hooks the leg, and that's going to be all she wrote. He kicked out. He kicked out.
Well, here comes the chance of fight forever, and you start to wonder, don't you?
Went for another splash. The Assassin moving out of the way at the last moment.
Well, he's going after the leg now with the Renegade. Smart move if you can take it out. Make him a one-legged fighter, and then I don't care who he is. Went for that loaded headbutt, and no one home.
There has been a lot of talk about that headbutt of his. People believe that something has been inserted into that mask. And now look out, the Assassin comes charging across and caught him with a clothesline. Down goes the Renegade now. Comes off the ropes, and the back elbow caught him. The experience now of the masked Assassin comes into play. Nobody home.
Another devastating clothesline, and now the Renegade feels, I believe, that this match is close to being over.
I think we all believe this match is close to being over. I'm surprised it's still happening now. Renegade just continues to beat this man down. Here's the Irish whip to the ropes he goes. And now what? Renegade has him perched up on the top now. Takes him down the hard way. Goes up to that top rope one more time. And there's that splash right in the middle of the ring. Nowhere to go this time. And he got him.
We take a look back at the replay, and there's no question about it. The Renegade, he is here, and he's here with a mission. And the Assassin, he was on the receiving end of one heck of a beating.
Yeah, no surprise to me, the outcome of this matchup. The Assassin did what he could do under the circumstances, but see that top rope splash, that really takes a lot right out of the man.
Well, not just once. He hit him with it twice. We're going to see the second one here in just a moment, and it was brutal. He has him on the top rope now, pulls him down.
And there's your 3 count, ladies and gentlemen. And there's your winner. Big win for the Renegade. We'll be back in just a moment, ladies and gentlemen. Stick around.
Wow, the stinger!
Timmy, I'm from the Dream Come True Fantasy Foundation. You ready to wrestle?
You bet! Mom! Dad, it's really him! Hold on! Now I'm ready.
It looks so real. Don't count on Sprite to do anything but quench your thirst.
Welcome to the Nation Network, your home for all things pro wrestling. From classic video games to the latest releases, we dive deep into wrestling past and present. Step into the ring with Legends Mania, where dream matches come alive as legends clash with today's top stars. Join the conversation on Wrestle Chat, our podcast breaking down the biggest stories and hottest events in wrestling today.
Leave an island unto my own.
And don't miss the voice of Ultra Pro Wrestling, Vince McShane, right here on the Nation Network. This is the place where wrestling lives, breathes, and never sleeps. Hit subscribe and let's run wild together.
All right, fans, in the ring at this time, Rocky Maivia, part of a tag team match that we're going to be seeing here in just a moment.
Well, a lot of people thinking right now that Rocky Maivia might be coming back a little too soon. He took a hell of a beating recently here on XWF at the hands of Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff. Doctors have cleared him, but that doesn't mean he's at 100%.
As we take a look at his tag team partner, SD Special Delivery Jones, heading down that aisle as well. These two men are about to go up against a couple of guys that know how to brawl it out. And to your point, this may be a little too much too soon for Mr. Maivia, but we're going to find out momentarily, fans.
Well, SD is a fan favorite, as he's always been. I'm not sure that's going to be enough to carry him to the finish line in a match like this, but we'll find out, won't we?
And here comes the opposition, and it doesn't get much better or worse, depending on which side of the equation you may be on.
Weight of 504 pounds. And the Nasty Boys.
Here come the Nasty Boys. Knobs and Zags heading down the aisle.
The Nasty Boys have been doing the tag team thing for a very long time. Whereas Maivia has, these guys have boots that are older than Rocky Maivia, I believe.
Wouldn't surprise me in the least, and it's going to be an interesting situation here. As we take a look at two tag teams looking to make their mark here in the XWF. Early advantage going to Sags of the Nasty Boys, starting this thing off against Maivia. Stomping away on the arm of Mr. Maivia. Of course, Rocky Maivia, born into the business, you might say, his father, the legendary Rocky Johnson, one half of the first ever black tag team champions. Rocky Johnson and Tony Atlas back in the days.
Well, they say the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, and it didn't happen here either, because we're looking at another top-tier athlete, just as his father was before him. But you know what? We talk about the family. Let's talk about his grandmother. His grandmother ran a major promotion out of Hawaii for a long time, and that was following the death of his grandfather, the High Chief Peter Maivia.
Indeed, and as we mentioned earlier, he has been born into professional wrestling. It's definitely in his blood. That said, there is no substitute for experience. You can watch it, you can be in the area, the locker rooms, spend time listening to stories, but until you actually get out there and take the hits, as they say, you're not going to know how it feels. You're not going to know how to deal with them. And Maivia is getting a little better every week, but that punishment he took from Orndorff last time out might be a lot to ask somebody to get past.
Well, we just saw a nice little double team right there by SD Jones and Maivia. And Knobs right now absorbing some punishment here, courtesy of SD Jones.
And SD going for a cover. I was going to say there's very little chance you're going to get him with that. Too soon. Not enough damage has been done yet. Back body drop, but that'll definitely help. That was a stiff landing right there. You could see the back being favored immediately by Knobs, who now desperately trying to make the tag. SD not going to allow him to do it. Oh, he missed. SD Jones went for that knee strike, and instead it is Knobs turning things around. Ladies and gentlemen, still to come, AJ Styles in our main event. Going to work on the arm right here. Look at that nice flying elbow drop. The Nasty Boys are capable of sticking to the rules if they want to. It's seldom that they do.
Yeah, thus far they've actually wrestled a pretty clean match. You know, the bar is set pretty low when it comes to the Nasty Boys wrestling clean, but they're rough wrestling, or they're wrestling a rough style, but that is their style. It's still within the rules. They haven't used a clinch fist. They haven't used a foreign object, but the match is still young yet.
And there's that flying elbow, which would have put him away had he connected with it. SD saw it coming, able to get out of there just in the nick of time. And now SD Jones ducks out the swing, comes up, atomic knee drop, and down across the knee. He felt all of that one. Sags into the wrong part of town, but fights his way out of it as he would. These two battled their way through the mean streets of the Bronx to get to the world of professional wrestling, with pit stops in places like the great state of Florida as well as the AWA. Their time in the WWF saw massive feuds with teams like the legendary Legion of Doom, and many people believe that they're not done yet with that one.
Well, the LOD going up against Nasty Boys was indeed history-making. Two of the top tag teams of all time. A lot of things on the line when those teams get together.
Maivia now has the offense as he's going to work right now. Sags in trouble. Maivia has him in a submission hold. Referee's going to see if he wants to give it up, and not a chance.
Well, this just goes back to what we said moments ago. These guys are used to street fighting, and you don't quit in a street fight. If you can breathe, you fight.
If that's not the moniker of the Nasty Boys, I don't know what would be. Another tag made to SD Jones as Maivia goes down. SD with a small package. Shoulders are down, but able to kick out right away. Sags with the big right hand caught SD. Sidewalk slam. SD gets up, doesn't know where his man was. Another big elbow right to the jaw. And a cover. Shoulders are down. SD Jones in the wrong part of town right now. He is right next to the ring, of the corner, I should say, of Brian Knobbs of the Nasty Boys. Setting him up for a... Oh, I thought he was going to go for the pile driver. Instead, plants him face first. Nice move right there. And Maivia, he's up. What's he doing, though? He's not getting back on the apron. It's like he doesn't want any more of the Nasty Boys.
Yeah, he's standing at ringside. He's not there to help his tag team partner, though. I'm not sure what's going on here.
Well, it looks like he's had enough. And now going for the cover, Knobbs. After going off the top rope with that double axe handle right to the head, and SD Jones is fighting a lonely fight right now. Another tag made. Here come the Nasty Boys, 2-on-1. Stretching SD out across the top rope, down into the small of the back. And special delivery. This time receives the delivery. Stomp to the back again. Zags sets him up, comes off the ropes. Ooh, drop kick, nicely done, right between the shoulder blades. That'll knock the air right out of you. SD trying to fight his way back, and still Maivia standing at ringside. He will not get back up on that apron after what happened to him moments ago. SD Jones now getting back into the fight with a scoop slam. SD to the top rope. This could be it. If he can connect with this one. He comes down, cross body, but he couldn't hold on for the cover. Now he's got the leg.
This could be a massive upset. There's two, and the save made by Brian Knobbs.
SD going down for the Boston Crab. Is he going to get it? Sags is in trouble. He's too far from the ropes. He powered out of it.
Well, that's how they get it done in the Bronx.
SD in the wrong corner once again, still with nobody to tag to, and I'm not sure SD even realizes it yet. He hasn't really had the opportunity to make a tag. Off the ropes, Knobbs comes up, brings up the knees, does SD Jones, and now he must have seen right there that there's no one in the corner. He stays in the fight with Brian Knobbs. Dropped down by SD. Shot to the midsection. Maivia wants nothing to do with the Nasty Boys. There's a scoop. There's a slam. And one more time, perhaps SD Jones trying to get this done on his own. He's got him. Stretches him up. There's the abdominal stretch. SD's going to do this on his own. Save was made.
Sags got in there in the nick of time to break that one up. SD caught him with that big headbutt. And now both members of the Nasty Boys are down. And here comes SD Jones looking to put this one away. Flying elbow on Sags. I don't even remember who the legal man is right now.
It should be Knobbs, if I'm not mistaken, in SD, but SD is targeting Sags. Oh, down in the back. This is going to break into a one-on-one match as neither opponent's teammate will be available for some time to come. Knobbs and SD rolling out to the floor, so now this thing is really breaking down. Referee is going to have to try and find a way to regain control of this matchup. Well, we finally got Sags up and out of the ring. Meantime, Maivia is still watching from ringside as SD Jones has poured his heart into this match. What in the heck is going on with Maivia over there? He's cheering him on. How about getting on the apron and letting him make a tag out for the love of Pete? Off the top. Oh, that knee just caught SD Jones, and this one's got to be over. He got a shoulder up. What is driving SD Jones right now? I don't know a normal person that would want to kick out after that. I don't think he can kick out after this one. Another diving elbow, and that's the 3 count. And Maivia, look at him. He looks frustrated. Are you kidding me? Maivia went AWOL. You know, I've got to believe that he came back too soon. I think it's that lingering effect. I think whatever Orndorff did to him might have been aggravated here by the Nasty Boys at some point in time, and I'm not even sure where exactly. We might see something here in the replay that helps us figure it out. Well, unfortunately not, because at this point in time, he's already outside the ring, and we know once he was out there, he stayed. SD Jones, quite the effort, however, almost managed to pull it off. Here was a close count. 1, there's 2, and if not for the save right there by Knobs, SD single-handedly would have scored that victory. Even here, look at his headbutts for everybody. Handing out the headbutts, and we know one thing about SD Jones, that headbutt puts people down for the 3 count. What an absolute effort by SD, and look at that elbow. Boy, he really ate that one. It is a victory for the Nasty Boys as they continue to see their star rise here in the XWF. We'll be back with our main event in just a moment. Stay with us. All right, fans, we are back and ready for the main event. There is the Universal Television Champion, AJ Styles. Well, AJ Styles was a 2-title holder until recently. Well, that is a sore subject. I don't mind telling you. The XWF Hardcore Championship, of course, no longer around his waist. And he got a lot to say about how that turned out. Never at a loss for words, that's for sure. Indeed. However, that all said, he is still Universal Television Champion, and he will be when this match is over. Because the title is not on the line here in this one.
From Florida, weighing in at 200
And here comes Barry Horowitz. We talk about underdogs that are able to find ways to turn things around. Horowitz is one of those people. He has done it time and time again.
Yeah, Barry Horowitz, he's one of those veterans who's really traveled the roads. He's been through all the major arenas as well as the minor arenas. And that's the thing, when you start to get into those small, little nuanced areas, you get to go in the ring with talent that a lot of people aren't familiar with. And you will learn new things from those experiences. And there's a different type of grit and grinding and fighting that goes on when you're getting into those levels. It toughens you up in a different way. I talk to these guys, and I'm telling you right now, Horowitz is not. Don't sleep on Horowitz, man. I'm telling you right now, he can do this.
Well, not only that, but if you're AJ Styles, who just answered the charge. If you're AJ Styles, however, you're coming off of that recent loss, and you've got to be thinking to yourself, I need this win. Even though the title is not on the line, I need this victory. Look at him ramming that elbow right into the head of Barry Horowitz.
Driving the knee into the back of Horowitz as well, and now he's got a few words for him, and this is almost personal for AJ Styles at this moment.
Styles whips into throws back out front. Deep arm drag, and down he goes. AJ. Series of right hands.
Well, when it comes to the championship, AJ Styles, he's put that title on the line against all comers. He was the cruiserweight champion at one point in time.
Indeed, and talk about putting titles on the line. That was another one that he defended on a regular basis. Guys like the Hurricane and AJ, some classic matches over the years here in the XWF over that cruiserweight title.
AJ Styles right now looks to me like he is here to make that statement that, hey, I lost the title. Do not think I'm a wounded animal, because right now what I am is I'm in my A game and I'm angry. He is here to prove a point and send a message to that entire locker room.
AJ Styles is in control now. He's got Horowitz. Over the top rope he goes. And look out! Oh, and he missed. He came up short.
That was a devastating move right there.
AJ decides to go back into the ring. Look at this, snaps right back up. Oh, it's down he goes, and AJ Styles. Very happy with his efforts, as well he should be. His crowd enjoying the action here in our main event. AJ going up to the top rope. Look out! Oh, the five-star front splash! Sends him back. Oh, he tried to anyway. Look at this. Putting on the brakes. AJ has him up. Almost slammed him on the steel steps. Oh, it's fortunate that didn't happen. AJ, oh, and he does it again this time. He connects with that slingshot. Splash to the floor. And Barry Horowitz, I got news for you. This is not a good day. And he sends AJ into the steel steps instead.
Well, that might be the big turnaround that Barry Horowitz needs. That's the closest thing to using a weapon and not getting disqualified as you can do in a match like this, and that'll definitely take some of this wind out of the sails of AJ Styles. But Horowitz turning his back for just a moment, and that's all it takes.
Indeed. Setting him up now. AJ has him up. Oh, he's going to go for the Styles Clash. He connects with it. Roll up, and that should be all she wrote here for Barry Horowitz. Big victory for that man, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us as we look at the television champion. Hold on, Tajiri.
We talk about past feuds. Tajiri clearly is not settled with a feud that he's had for years with AJ Styles.
Fans, we're out of time. We've got to go. Look at this.